can we become like the Macedonians who were looking for opportunities and found it a privilege to give? How can we do this, right? We have to tap into the joy of giving. I have to tap into the joy of giving. Jesus said this in Acts chapter 20, verse 35. It is more blessed to give than it is to receive. What a statement. There's more happiness in giving than there is in getting. There's joy involved. In the book of Acts, I mentioned those two words. They were getting together, sharing meals, and there was a lot of joy along with generosity. These two things are the same, are on the same coin. They're two sides of the same coin. Let's go back to the Macedonians. Listen to what Paul said about them. They're being tested by many troubles, and they're very poor, right? Giving is not for the rich. Giving is for everyone. The middle class, the poor, the wealthy. These guys were very poor, but they were also filled with abundant what? Joy. And this abundant joy overflowed or resulted in rich generosity towards the Christians in Jerusalem. See, in their case, joy came first, and the result of that joy was generosity. But here's I think it works the same way. I think it works the opposite way as well. I think that the act of generosity itself produces joy. I think joy overflows in generosity. I think when you give, you also receive joy. How do I know this? Well, think about it. They were begging Paul for an opportunity to give. Why were they begging Paul for that opportunity? Because Paul was going to skip them. He was going to skip them. Paul was going town to town raising money for the Christians in Jerusalem, and he was going to skip Macedonia. Why? They had a lot of problems, and they were already poor. And Paul was thinking, man, I'm not going to put another burden on them. They can barely make it themselves. I'm going to ask them in their poverty to give to these Christians over here in Jerusalem. I'm going to skip them. And their response? No! Don't do it. Don't rob us of this opportunity to bless them and then also miss out in the joy that comes from giving. Which one comes first, joy or generosity? Generosity or joy? It works both ways, folks. I'm just telling you, this helps me. When I know that it is more blessed to give than it is to receive, it helps break through the selfishness. I grew up in a scarcity mindset. I really did. In my home, I grew up in New York City in the projects. We weren't like poverty level, but we didn't have much either. You know, I was the kid that wanted the pair of Jordans but couldn't get the pair of Jordans. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I was the one that was told by my mom and dad, who were great people. I love them. They're fantastic people. I was told, honey, we just can't afford that. Sometimes we could, but a lot of times we couldn't. And that's okay, and it helped me to understand, and there were so many blessings in that, right? But it taught me that the pie is only so big, there's not that much. And so I have to learn how to bust through that and work through that. And you know what it does? Tapping into the joy that comes from giving.